Oh, g'day, Keithy here. Thanks for joining me again. Glad to have you here. So you caught me while I'm just giving the engine a bit of an oil check just to make sure it's all good, because we've actually got a video coming up that I'd really like to show you guys, and that is a bit of a follow-on from one that I did 2 years ago, believe it or not. 2 years, and time has flown, I should say. I'm gonna have to top this oil up just a tiny bit, so we'll get to that. So this video is a follow-on from the last video that you saw up there, which is to do with getting the LPG system ready. So combine that with the videos that you saw 2 years ago when I did the fuel consumption with the weight and the roof rack and all of that kind of stuff on. We're going to add another level to that. We're going to go episode 5 being a comparison between what the fuel consumption is while running on an LPG, which is gas. You can see all of the gas stuff up here on top of the motor, and running it on the normal unleaded petrol that it normally runs on. So we're going to do that comparison there for not only fuel consumption, but we're going to add the element of cost as well in this time, because LPG at the moment in North Queensland, I know in that other video I said it was about $1.40 a litre, or actually it was $1 a litre for gas. It's not, and it never was. It was sort of about $1.20. It's $1.25 a litre for gas now, and it's about $1.90-ish, about $1.87 or something like that to fill this thing with LPG. So there's a bit of a cost difference there. There's about 60 cents per litre of fuel. So it's worth checking from a cost perspective, but also a fuel consumption perspective. So there's two elements to this video that are very exciting. I'd really want to know which one is cheaper for me to run. And if it is actually cheaper to run on gas, then maybe I can do it. So sit back, grab a coffee, grab a beer, grab whatever you drink, grab your uncle from way back when, call your grandfather, and yeah, get ready for another video. Well, we couldn't go without checking this out. Right, staring at the tyres now. G'day, Keithy. Alright, so to start this test off, baseline, we're going to have to make everything the same like we did in that other video. Everything has to be equal, so that means that when we do the run for gas now, we're going to do the same distance as we will do with petrol. So the highway run, just like last time, we're going to do the highway run, turn around, come back, fill up, and work out how many litres per 100, etc, etc. From that, we're going to do the exact same run on petrol. Come back, fill up, work out how much we used, what the fuel consumption was, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to do the town run, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So we filled up with gas, we filled up with petrol. Let's go and see how we go around town. We're going to include stopping the engine and then restarting it, because that's a part of running around through town. Stop starts, traffic lights, things like that. You know, life is not perfect, so I'll do as much of that as I can. I'll stop and show you some of the stuff that Townsville's got to offer as well. So we'll just keep it really fair and equal. I'm really keen because I want to see what happens. I want to see which one is better. I think the gas is going to be better, but is it? You know, that's the thing. I mean, I spent a lot of time making sure that the gas system was working and working efficiently before starting all of this testing. So there's no leaks. Everything's running. The oil's good in the car. Like, everything is good. The tire pressures, everything is ready to go. Nice and equal. I think it's going to be a little bit different to the previous tests, because at the moment the temperature is only in the low 30s. It's sort of 31, 32. So it's a little bit cooler than when I did this test 2 years ago. And obviously I've got a few more Ks on the thing now. We're at 300,000 kilometres on this Range Rover now. So it's done very well. It's almost time for a 300,000 kilometre birthday, if you will. I might give her a bit of a treat. So sit back and enjoy this one, guys. I'll get back to you once I've filled up with gas and petrol so that both tanks are full. And then from there, we can start the run out on the highway. Alright, so we've just topped up the gas tank. Petrol tank is full. It's $1.29 a litre for the gas here. We got full tank of petrol, and we're going to go and start doing the run now for gas. And we'll tell you at the end the distance that we've done, and we'll fill up again and see how we've gone.
1
So here we are, we've got the Puma servo on the highway, so we're going to make this our turnaround point, and that way we've got an even place to turn around each time. We don't have to worry about going down streets or anything like that. It's a very easy place to remember. So that's us halfway around our little circuit on gas. We'll head back now, fill up and find out exactly how much we've used here and back, and then we'll start the same run on petrol and see how we went. So this is how you fill up with LPG. You screw on the nozzle, watch it go. $1.59 a litre, that's a little bit better than $1.89 a litre or whatever petrol is. So we did 94 on the dash, which is 102 by the GPS. So we'll see how many litres of gas it takes to do 102 kilometres. Spooked me then. So we're already just over, look at that, that was about 21.16 on the highway. So that sounds to me close to 20 litres per 100. We'll do the maths after anyway. That looks pretty good. So we filled up with gas, as you saw, and we've also made sure that the petrol tank is full, so off we go again. This time we're doing the highway run on petrol, so we'll see how the consumption goes, see if it is any better, and after all of this, once we've done the town run, we'll see if it's actually cheaper to run on petrol or to run on gas. So it'd be very interesting. But just like the highway run on gas, we've got a bit of traffic in front of us now, so we're going to be overtaking some cars, which is good because that's the same conditions that we had. That's the same conditions that we had on the previous trip. We had to overtake a truck, so it would be much the same kind of conditions, which is really good. This is what we want, to try and keep things equal. So we'll see how we go. Alrighty, here we are. So we're on the town run now. I've got the servo over there. It's a United servo. I don't know why it's got Astron signs all over it. It'd be the only Astron servo in Townsville. This is the only place, believe it or not, in Townsville where you can buy auto gas for your car. So if you've got like one of the LPG Falcons or anything like that, this is where you'll come if you're in Townsville to fill it up. So we've just done that with the Range Rover now. We're full of gas, we're full of petrol, so that means only one thing. We'll go and do some Ks on gas, and then we'll come and fill her up, see what she did. Do some Ks on petrol, same deal, fill her up, and see which one was better. This is the town run, trying to make it as real as possible, so nothing better to do. We'll go through a drive-through and grab ourselves a coffee on this round, and then the next round we might even grab some lunch from a drive-through as well. That way we've got a little bit of time sitting idling in the cafe or in the drive-throughs here, and just throws a little bit of a average everyday type driving scenario into the video for you. G'day. So this is one of the great parts of Townsville, and if you're ever up in Townsville, come up and have a look from Castle Hill. There's a big lookout at the top where you can see right over the ocean to Magnetic Island and everything like this, and if you come down you can walk there from the car park at the top, and you get a really good view of the western side of Townsville all the way up to Mount Stewart in the distance. And you can see today is obviously a bit wetter than usual. We've got a bit of rain over the suburbs there. Looks like it's over near the Army Barracks in Annandale area. It's a great way to have a bit of a look around Townsville. If you're up here and you want to spend a bit of time, come and have a look. So if you come up to Townsville when the V8 supercars are here, you can see you're looking directly at the pit lane there with the big TSV on the top of it. That's pit lane for the V8 supercars. A couple of cars going in past the high school there. So normally when the V8s aren't on, it's actually a public road. Half the track is a public road and half the track is actually in parkland. And there is Townsville Stadium, the Cowboys winning matches there. That's only been up for a year or two. fireys have obviously got a little bit of a convention going on at the moment. Again, the breakwater, so the water you see behind us there, it's where all the ferries come in to the terminal. And then on the other side of that is where all of the ships come in with all the goods, and all the tourist ships as well on the other side there. So you can sort of see if you turn around there as the truck comes in. That's the hub of Townsville. So we're at the Strand in Townsville. We're on the final run now where we've got to do the gas, see how we go on the gas. Pulled up at the Strand for a little bit of something to eat. We took the dog out of the back. A little bit of food, yummo. Time to go and see what the rest of this trip's got in store for us. We've done the highway run, both type of fuels, and now we've just finished the last of the town runs. On the highway ones we did 102 kilometres, and on the town ones we got 50 kilometres exactly each time, same track, same route. And obviously we're filling up at the same fuel station, so we'll fill it up now, get the data off the Bowser there, and I'll take it home, we'll analyse it all, and we'll fill up the data, and I'll get back to you with the end of this video, probably tomorrow morning, I'd say. Alright, that's how we do it around here. We put our coffee cups on a bin. I also haven't showered in 24 hours, I haven't eaten anything healthy, and I probably haven't even slept actually. I lie. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me. So next day, obviously we did all of the fuel consumption testing yesterday, and what a day it was. Like, you got to admit, it started off nice and sunny for the highway runs, and then we ended up with rain in the afternoon, so go figure there. That is about as variable as you can get, although the rain wasn't really extremely heavy or anything like that, but it was still there nonetheless. So I've got my magic playbook and I've got all the data down here. I got quite a lot of data actually from all of this testing and whatnot. Yeah, righto, it was a hot rod. I got plenty of data from this testing, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to just bomb you with data now. I might even make another video with like all of the nerd stats, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and I'd really like to try and get all of it out there, but I don't think this is the video. It's already long enough. I mean, I'm pre-recorded yesterday's stuff last night. I pre-edited last night's stuff, and the video is going to be about 25 minutes long already, so I'll try and just keep it as low as I can. So I'll go through some stats that I really want to share with you before I give you the final fuel consumption data, because there's quite a lot of information that can potentially affect some of it, but at the same time, it is what it is. It was real life. Like, I tried to mimic the real life conditions during this testing, so some of this data may shock you. I hope you've got a coffee or sitting down with your grandpa and grandma. All right, so information I wanted to give to you guys first. For the highway run on gas, we did more overtaking than what we did for the highway run on petrol. So, I mean, you saw in the video, we overtook that truck. That was close. It was probably about 15 kilometres out of town when we did that. and we had to give the Range Rover a few berries because the traffic on the road yesterday was quite considerable. So I had to get around him really quickly so the next car didn't come and clean me up. And also, I think we spent more time during the LPG run at the speed limit, which in that area was 110 kilometers per hour, than what we did when we were running the same run for petrol, because we got stuck behind some traffic and just unfortunately didn't get the right opportunity to overtake them on the petrol run. So we were sitting about 10 kilometers an hour less. It doesn't sound like much, but when you look at this thing here, sitting at 3 tons, and if you look on the roof rack there are actually 2 solar panels there now. You'll learn more about that in the coming weeks. Plus, yeah, obviously the weight of the car, we're sitting at 3 tonne. I had my good mate Justin, thank you Justin for helping, and a lot of the filming done for this video. Actually, Justin was the man holding the camera there, so thank you for that. So there was a couple of things affecting the highway run. I think that the LPG had a harder run than what the petrol did. But that aside, you know, real life, like I said before, you can't really sort of plan and predict these things. Yeah, on the petrol run, overtook just one car and we got stuck behind the rest at 100 kilometers an hour. For the town run, first thing I will tell you is the price of unleaded actually dropped on the same day by 4 cents a litre for unleaded. And I run this thing on 95 unleaded, which is premium unleaded. So initially it was $1.87.9 for premium unleaded, 95 octane. And then for the second run, for the town run on petrol, the price had actually gone down, so it was $1.83.9 for the petrol then. I will also add, before I keep going, you would have seen earlier at the video, I had to correct some of the things that I've said because sometimes I don't get the words out. Like I think I was talking about the price of LPG earlier in the video and I had to correct myself there, or I said gas instead of petrol, or whatever it might have been. So if you see a few corrections here and there, it's because sometimes I just get the words in the wrong spot with all this brain tumour stuff I've got going on. Moving on, for the town run, I think petrol, and this is what I've written down in my notes here from the log yesterday. So we spent more time idling at traffic lights and mucking around at like the drive-through cafe and all of that kind of stuff while using petrol. On LPG, the run was a lot smoother. There was a little bit, well, not so much less traffic, but we had a better run with the traffic lights. Grabbing the tucker that we had, all of that kind of stuff, we sort of didn't get held up as long while we were running through town on LPG compared to when we were running on petrol. But that said, like I said, with the highway run, we're trying to keep this thing real world. You can't plan that kind of stuff, it just happens. So that gets all of that stuff that I really wanted to get to you before I told you the final details. So might shock you guys, these numbers are higher than even I thought. Petrol one, sorry, not the petrol, the highway one wasn't too bad, but the round town one, yeah, I know, because I fill this thing up. When I do fill it up, I don't really think about the fuel consumption, and I mean, it might be close, but I don't think it's 100% of how I normally drive. But for this testing, I was a little bit shocked. So I'll go through it as quick as I can. Petrol run for the highway, we averaged 15.81 litres per 100. So that was me saying I filled the car with this amount of fuel in litres, and I did this many kilometres by the GPS. So we used the GPS for the distance, remember, because I said the speedo is just a little bit out, so the odometer is also out. So that is actually calculated data, not what the car told me and not what the fuel data would suggest anywhere else, but the fact of going a certain amount of kilometres and using a certain amount of fuel to do it. For LPG, 20.75 litres per 100 kilometres. Now that sounds a lot more than the 15.8 for petrol, but when you consider the price difference, like we said before, petrol in that run was $1.89.5 per litre, and LPG was $1.25.9 per litre. So there's like 60 cents per litre discount there, a difference I should say. So without going through what it each cost, it was actually, for the highway run, it was $3.60 cheaper to run on LPG to do the same distance on the highway, including overtaking and all of that kind of stuff. Like I said, I overtook the truck and all of that kind of, and I sat at the speed limit on gas. So there could be a bit better, more in favour to the gas if we didn't have to hit the truck, and if I slowed down by maybe 10 k's an hour like I did for the petrol run. But there you go. So gas wins out, $3.59 difference to do 100 kilometres. Gas wins out. Okay, now going over to the town run. running on petrol, we averaged, yeah, you're gonna just need to sit down for this one, 24.7 litres per 100 kilometres. 24.7 litres to do 100 kilometres. And that cost $45.42 to do that distance. So that's pretty expensive to run this thing on petrol in town and do 100 kilometres. The gas, 26.08, 08 I should say, litres per 100 kilometres. So it was about 2 litres per 100 more, just shy of, at a cost of $32.84 to do 100 kilometres on LPG, which made the difference $12.58. So gas was cheaper to do 100 kilometres around town by $12.58. That is crazy. So that makes LPG a really good prospect to run on this thing, especially if I'm going to be doing town runs. See, the servo that I fill up with LPG, there's only one servo in town that you can actually get it from, which is kind of sad, considering you go up to Cairns and there's a handful up there, and as you go south from Townsville, there's a few in most of the big towns, you know, but there's only one in Townsville that I can fill up from. So they've sort of got the price war to themselves. Although it's not too bad, it's still obviously 60 odd cents a litre cheaper to run on LPG, but that's some crazy numbers. So stick around, guys. I will go through all my nerd stats for anybody who's keen, because I'm keen to go through all of the old videos that I did on the fuel consumption series with all of the different things that I did way back when. So go back and have a look at all of that if you're interested in this kind of stuff. And I'm going to sit down and talk data. I'm going to do a full video on the data from this test and from all of those other ones very soon. Maybe I'll try and get it in to be the next video. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone who supports me by subscribing to the channel and giving me thumbs up and just generally communicating with me. I get a lot of comments. I get a lot of emails as well. If you go to Chilling with Keithy over on Facebook, plenty of people talk to me over there. I love hearing from you guys. So yeah, please feel free to do that, and I appreciate the subscribes. And stick around. I got a little bit of a bloopers run after me yapping on now, so enjoy that, and I'll see you next time. And that's the bloke I bought that other Range Rover off.